everybody, Andy here, and today we are looking at Kill Team Stats by KT Stats. Basically, I've been out of the loop for quite some time. I want to get back into Kill Team. I want to see what's happening in the meta, and how do you do that? Step one, obviously, look at the win rates of all the factions. So the truth is, I basically stopped playing, or stopped looking at stats and like how to plays and all that stuff, tier lists, etc. of Kill Team since Nightmare released. So as we had Mandrakes and Nemesis Claw drop, I basically completely went dark when it comes to Kill Team. And then when Termination released, I was actually pretty hyped about that. I did my content, as you'd expect. I did a battle report on Tactical Skew, all that good stuff. But now I actually want to start playing again. Why? Because I'm counterculture, baby. Because nothing is going to happen for Kill Team for the next 3 to 4 months, and so it's the worst possible time to start doing Kill Team content again. That's why I'm here. Just like whenever I look at the stats, what do? I go straight to what's the bottom performing thing? Scout Squad. I guess I'm a Scout main now. So, I thought, as I'm looking at all of this stuff, I'd take you along for the ride with me. So, for those, cast your mind back, if we think about Mandrake's Nemesis Claw, we had also just had a drop of the balanced data slate. There was a lot of rambling, a lot of talk there about how Kassakin are going to totally dominate, and it's also the death of elites. That was kind of about when I started phasing myself out of Kill Team. Cool. We then come to now. Termination last weekend was the Bristol GT, hosted by Jin the Sheep, and that was very cool. And that was the day that Termination released, and so there were no Brood Brothers, sorry, or what are the other guys? Hearthkin Jaegers. So this is the final week. This was updated yesterday. This was 22nd, yep, of KT Stats that will not include those two teams, the latest teams, the Termination teams. Right, cool, done. Can I zoom in a smidge? Can we do that? Yes, we can. Cool, hopefully you can see it. Now obviously I'm too big and I'm taking up far too much space. Definition of my life and my self-esteem right there, let me tell you. Okay, cool. So, this was updated yesterday. Today the 23rd, this was updated on the 22nd. I want to very quickly go down a few of the win percentages. And then also look at podiums, because I think it's very important when looking at stats to, you know, something could hypothetically have a 90% win rate, but have never actually come first, second, or third, right? That's entirely possible. So, let's have a look. First things first. We're just looking at this purely by win rate percentage. Actually, at the top end, super healthy. The fact that our absolute highest win percentage is 57.48%, that's not terrible. We're under, like, nothing is over 60%, which is kind of where you want to start really thinking about warning bells. GW has said that 55 to 45 is their golden range. That's where they want everything. So it does technically mean that Felgor, Gelapox and Mandrakes and Wormblade and Nemesis Claw all need a bit of a nerf. How do you pull them back in line? It's always very interesting. Good question. But then if we look at the bottom end, we do have the Scouts under 40%. That's really bad. Like, that's a really, really bad place to be. Kassakin are super low. Below Kroot, below Strike Force Justian. That is really weird. Don't know why. And it's not like they don't have any plays. They have, you know, 350 plays, which is more than some of these other things that have done pretty well. So very interesting. Very interesting just looking at the outliers of the win percentage there. If we then look, let's just look at the top down Mandrakes there at the top. Mandrakes are elves. Mandrake are elves, and that's why they're OP dominant. This is because, firstly, GW clearly loves elves and is very biased towards them. Secondly, also because the way that GW has decided, across all of their games it seems, to kind of say, hey, this is how elves play, is they're good at movement. And all of their games are also objective based, which means movement based. And Kill Team is a very lethal game, super high lethality. And it focuses on how do you not die, you move, or sorry, how do you get a kill when lethality is high, but also you could just turn off the ability for somebody to shoot at you, you move. And therefore, obviously, Mandrakes all elves play very well. However, mandrakes specifically, the way they decided to denote that incredibly potent movement was, of course, straight up teleporting. There you go. So, hey, if you ever... we play on very heavy terrain dominated boards. That is amazing for mandrakes, whether you're playing Into the Dark, whether you're playing Open Octarius, whether you're playing Beta Decima, whatever you're playing, mandrakes are loving the boards at the moment. We can't really move away from heavy dominated boards, because then Pathfinders are going to say hi. So it's fine. It is what it is. I think boards are probably as they should be at the moment. However, mandrakes are going to take full advantage of that, and sure enough they have, sitting at a very nice high win rate percentage. However, the other thing to consider with mandrakes, I'm not going to spend this long on everything, sorry. The other thing to consider with mandrakes is they are still relatively new, much like the Nemesis Claw are. We're still getting people not fully understanding how they play, how to counter them, all that stuff. So I almost would say this is not truly representative of mandrakes. Like, you know, if you want to sit down and think and mentally think to yourself, how strong are mandrakes? Are they actually the best? Possibly, but maybe this isn't how strong they naturally truly are. Metas have to adjust. Sorry, not metas have to adjust. People have to learn the teams. Cool. Now, with that said, they're probably too strong. And the reason they're too strong is because they have an incredibly strong, almost impossible to stop secondary game and primary game if you give them the opportunity. They play very well into elites. And everything. They play very well. There you go. Because that's Eldar, right? They're designed to win. Cool. Galloppox Infected being so strong. Yeah, makes sense. They're a strong horde melee team. They can out-activation you and they can kill you in melee. That's just, you know, because of the way Kill Team's designed, they are relatively, I'm going to say, simple to play because you don't have to worry about line of sight. You just run forwards and kill stuff. And you have enough models to activation advantage, which is always the strongest thing you can do in Kill Team. Again, because of its high lethality, if you can move last, you probably win the game. There you go. That's the facts. I'm sorry, that's how it is. Felgor Ravagers, intensely strong team that can ignore dying. I'm shocked that they're so strong. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Cool. Okay, there you go. That's my ramble about the win rate there. Let's drop to the bottom. Let's have a look at the scouts. Sorry, before we drop to the bottom, let's have a quick think about where the popular... No. Basically, I want to go to picked. We're going to filter by that. Who had the most actual picks? Who is the most popular team? Legionary, Hyrotech Circle, Nemesis Claw, Intercession, Mandrakes. Phobos. Wow. So, Legionary at the top. I think that makes a lot of sense. Legionary are some people would probably assume Intercession. However, more and more I'm seeing Legionary being modded to be loyalists. You know, whether they're Black Templars or Blood Angels or whatever. It's a really good generic team in the sense of you can just run loyalists. Great. But also, they are definitely considered the more competitive team among Kill Team pros. So you're probably getting a bunch of people that just like Chaos Space Marines, which is a lot of people, second only to normal Space Marines. And you're getting that proxy element where you can easily proxy Legionary, Intercession, and Nemesis Claw, all as kind of one team. And then you're also getting the pro players that are there to win. Legionary are just better than Intercession. Makes a lot of sense. Hyrotech Circle, I'm legitimately shocked to see them. This completely skews everything I just said before. Why? Hyrotech... Okay, if you look at how popular a faction is, it's very interesting to see Hyrotech at the top, because in 40k for the last few months, Necrons have been dominating. And whenever we're looking at stats on BCP, we do need to be looking at what is strong. If you look at the pick percentages in 40k, I mentioned 40k purely because it has a much stronger kind of like faction marriage, faction loyalty, because of, you know, hobby elements. But also it has much stronger, far more games played. So you can look at numbers and pick out actual trends far more so than Kill Team, where we still have relatively small numbers of picks, events, etc. And so individuals can skew things. Yep. Hyrotech Circle, Necrons in 40k have been absolutely dominating, and so when you then look at pick rates, you're looking at BCP, so you're looking at tournaments, and you would think that Necrons are one of the top factions. Well, if you go back and you look at Admech or Drukhari or any faction when they are dominating the meta, Eldari, suddenly they seem to be the most popular faction. That's because we're getting this really hard skew from these are the competitive players. Your friend who never ever leaves the local game store is not going to these events. The fact that they always run Space Marines and never anything else, or always run Gene Cults and never anything else, whatever, they aren't affecting that. When you're looking at a tournament, inevitably a large percentage of people there just want easy games, and that means they're going to be running the best teams. Hyrotech Circle were a very strong team and then got buffed. I am not surprised that they are that high up. However, I am heartened that the Necron power, Necron pride, that's all I'm saying. Big fan of them. You know, they get knocked down, but then they get up again. Cool. Don't know why I said that. Nemesis Claw make total sense, of course. They are Space Marines, same as Legionary, same as Intercession, and they're super easy, simple to play, and they're a little bit of a flavor twist. So those three being at the top makes total sense. Then you have Intercession, they're Marines. Cool. Nice. Mandrake's probably up there because they're winning a bunch. That's probably why. Cool. Okay. Well, that was fun. Let's drop back to the win percentage. Yeah, cool. And I want to look at the bottom now. No jokes there. So, Scouts, Kassakin, Farstalkers, Justian. Scout at the bottom, I feel makes sense. When I played into Scouts, I beat them, and that tells you all you need to know. They're clearly weak. If I can beat them, they're definitely too weak. They need a buff. How would you go about buffing the Scouts? So I actually played into them quite a few times, so I should probably have an answer to this. However, every time I played them on Beta Decima, and so therefore all of my games were completely invalid and tell me nothing about the game. That's an issue. Yeah, pass. I don't know. They don't have what they need. Okay, moving on. Kassakin. Why are they so low? This actually shocks me. I've played into Kassakin. Kassakin are super strong. Why are they so low? I don't have an answer. I'm sure that a smarter man than I would. I assume it's something to do with the fact that Kassakin play the strongest, the best into elites, and right now elites are not dominating. In fact, if we go up to the top here, where are our elites? If we look at win percentages, we've got Nemesis Claw at the top. Okay, we'll ignore that. We've got, who next? Phobos at 50%. Legionary, Intercession way down here. Warp Coven. So apart from Nemesis Claw, who are, for lack of a better phrase, an easy team to play, because you just turn on your 3 morsels and then you charge, and that's kind of and you can't be shot, which is a pretty damn good counter to Kassakin, let's be honest. Elites are sucking balls at the moment, which is a thing. And of course, everybody said that they would, because Kassakin are now so dominant. But I guess it turns out, Kassakin are not the gatekeepers to elites. Kassakin are there to make sure that elites don't step out of line, apparently. But then Kassakin can't beat anything else, and that's why they're so low. But that's simply not true. Kassakin are very strong. Clearly they need 3-up ballistic skill, and that's the only answer I or several internet trolls will ever accept. No, I actually have no idea why they're so low. They're a very strong team. There you go. If you play them in... Again, it's the tournament skew. If you play Kassakin into a more casual crowd, they feel oppressive. Yeah. I would genuinely undo some of the buffs that Kassakin recently had. I don't think they needed those. But you know what? The win percentage is telling me they need more. I really hope they don't get more. There you go. Farstalker. Yeah, they're not very good. Farstalker are a very interesting team. Yeah, they probably deserve to be there. It's not impossible to win a game with them. It is very difficult and challenging. And the reason Farstalker are so low is because their data sheets are so bad. And so you are relying on your, well, firstly playing against the right teams, because there are some you just aren't going to be able to beat. But also, they're relying on you using the correct strats at the correct time, and therefore also having the CP to do that. And if you don't have that, because you've done it elsewhere, or you forget to do it, perhaps, which is very easy to do in a tournament, under such pressure, you are going to get wrecked. And they are getting wrecked. And that's a little bit of a challenging thing to kind of... I think where Farstalker have gone wrong is that they are weak they have weak data sheets and rely on their strats, their ploys, to bring them up a level. However, when they are brought up to that level, they're still average. They're not good. They don't become strong, and that's the real problem with Farstalkers. What you really want to have in a team is to be weak, but then if you are played correctly, you are strong. What you really don't want to have in a team is for them to be weak, and then when played perfectly, they are average. That's very bad balancing within the team there, which is a real shame to see that Kroot have taken it so hard. Strikeforce Justian, last thing I'll mention here, because Strikeforce Justian, not a real team, except they are now. But they're not being played, and I'm genuinely confused why. I think that Strikeforce Justian should be leaned into a little bit harder by the community. I think they're great fun. I think they are the most flavorful, most interesting in my opinion, elite team. And they finally, 6 months after they should have been, 9 months? It took a long time. Became a legal team because they now actually can take their TAC ops. So... yeah, a shame to see them so low, but I guess they're also not really meant to be a real team, so maybe they're they're Compendium. They're not getting buffed, they're not getting touched, they're just there, like Compendium are. There you go. Cool, with that done, let us quickly go over to Podiums. Now, Podiums, as I mentioned at the beginning, it can be very interesting to see, like, a team could have a very high win percentage rate, but then just never actually podium. And sure enough, if we look at this, do we want to go with first or total? We could just look at the total at the moment. So Hyrotech Circle, right, if we go to win rates, where were they? They were second? Third? Where are they? Right, down here. So they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. They are 9th place when it comes to win percentage, but have the most top 3s. So that means... in general, very roughly speaking, whoever is taking Hyrotech Circle is above the average. And they are smashing face, because they're getting top 3s, not just top 53%, you know? Cool. Is there anything else weird here? Oh, wow. What on earth is happening to... oh, okay, right. It scrolls. Harkin Jaegers. Oh, okay, so one person has jumped in quickly there. They came first somewhere. I wonder where that was. That's quite amusing. Okay. Has anyone done that with Brood Brothers? No. Cool. Okay. Just the one person with Harkin Jaeger down there. Fair enough. Well, as I say, this was updated yesterday, and this is the week after Termination release. So, cool. Maybe someone played on a Friday night and got that win. Right. So, Mandrakes, Nemesis Claw, both high up there. Totally expected. With the 51 and 50 wins there. And really, if you're looking at that, Hyrotech, Mandrakes, and Nemesis Claw have the absolute lion's share of podiums across all of these. Hyrotech Circle are super strong, that totally makes sense. Mandrakes, Nemesis Claw, two very strong teams that are also new, which again you would expect, firstly, more people to be playing them than usual, which makes sense, and also for them to probably have either a much higher or much lower win percentage than they should naturally have. Because people don't know how to play into or as or against them, yes. Commando's still sticking out really strong up there. Good to see the Pathfinders, big Tau fan. Don't play them, but good to see them there. I'm actually shocked to see Intercession so high up. You know, I guess that's what happens when you just play a very durable team. Cool, makes sense. I guess that is the standard Intercession... Marine problem among GW. They have inevitably the most number of players normally because they're Marines and everybody has Marines. You can always play them. They're also arguably the coolest, so it makes total sense. But they will probably have the lowest win percentage rate because there are so many noob players who have taken them just because they want to get out for the day, get away from the wife, and play. And hey, I'll play my Space Marines because they're very beginner friendly. But then clearly whoever is taking them is also, you know, the good players are good. and they can be won with, which is a great sign for intercession, in fact. Nice. And then nothing else here is of particular interest, I think. Shall we look who has the actual most firsts instead of just top 3s? Nemesis Claw, Mandrake's Commando, Hyrotech Circle. Okay, alright, fine. Cool. And if we go all the way to the bottom, ignore Harnkin. Justian has a first and a third. There you go. Who is winning with Farstalker, though? 263? Damn. I actually didn't expect to see Farstalker there at all. Again, obviously, when you're thinking about the data, I could have put in bigger filters here. This is basically seeing all data from people that have as few as 8 attendees and doing 3 rounds in a day, all the way up to the absolute major GTs. So it is what it is. Cool. Right. Well, that's it. That's interesting. Oh, shall we draw some conclusions? Yes. Allow me to go back to win rates. That's where we take the conclusions from, not podiums. I'm not going to be podiuming. That's not within my capability because I don't go to tournaments. Also, I'm not a very good player. So, cool. All right, let's have a think. What's going on in my life that I want to... Do I want to be good and pick a top 50%? Or be bad and pick a bottom 50%, but have the emotional weight to say that I'm doing it my way? Good question. Yes. So, Blades of Cain are an interesting one. They released and nobody really did anything with them. They were kind of released and everybody was like, oh, well, they're not as good as Harlequins. Why would I play them? Which feels like the wrong way to view them, but actually the parallels are clearly there, so I get it. Yeah, rip Blades of Cain. It would be good to see somebody come out swinging with the Blades of Cain, maybe. Right, absolutely smash some. Who else? Salvagers don't interest me. Corsairs, no. Really, I'm feeling the elites. You know what the problem is? Here it is. Here's the truth. I want to be playing Nemesis Claw. But apparently so does everybody else, and therefore I cannot play them. Maybe I will be one of the unwashed masses, and I will play the 2 new teams, Termination. I very much enjoyed my game both as and against both the Brew Brothers and the Harnkin Jaeger. So maybe I'll jump in with them. I do like that the Brew Brothers have some very easy to grasp tactics, but you also get to change this big model, which completely changes kind of how you're playing into each team, which is very fun. That's a nice little element of list building within Kill Team. And of course, Kill Team's always struggling to find list building potential, so that's interesting. Warp Coven are out. I sold my team. Scouts, absolutely sucking. The problem is, I'm thinking about Scouts and I'm like, yeah, they do suck. I couldn't win with them. And the problem is, when picking these, yes, I like to look at win rates and say, right, I'm going to pick from the bottom half. I'm going to do it my way. It's going to be awesome. But I do still want to win. To clarify, yes, I want to do it the hard way, but if I go to a tournament and win 0, I feel bad. I've got to get that 1 win a day. So maybe not Scouts, because I'm not convinced I would win with them, to be honest. Kassakin is so low, which is really odd. Yeah, Farstalkers. I recently played Farstalkers and I drew. They were quite fun to play actually, but they're not good. Strike Force Justian. You know what I might do? Hear me now, brother. Here's what I'm thinking. I think what I want to do is take all of the elite teams and I want to create proxies that can just become all of those teams. This is very easy to do, whether I want to lean towards the Loyalist team or if I want to lean toward the Loyalist or the... What's the other one? Chaos? You can do that easily. And then there's enough crossover that you can easily just say, this is these 4 models. Right? You can't do that with all of them, but you need a rocket launcher, a plasma, a melter, a flamer, a heavy bolter for all of these teams. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. You want your guy with the big axe. Who's that? Well, that's your Skin Thief. I forgot the other name. Blooded? That's a team. The Butcher, sorry. And then something else as well. Interesting stuff. I might have to do that. I think what I might do is sit down, list out all of the operatives and say, right, I'm doing it. And that includes Phobos though. So, get those things where you can. Alright, well that's me done. Right, thank you very much for watching everybody. This has been Kill Team Stats. Thank you so much to Kill Team Stats. Also, if you're into Kill Team Stats, you know, don't forget that there is another content creator out there that does this like monthly, which is mad, but people love it. Gets great views. That's obviously John from Can You Roll Crit. Go check him out. He uses a different Kill Team Stats page. It's less of a here's a list, and it's more of a interactive thing, which looks really cool. So definitely go and check that out. He's really been holding up the community while I've been non-interested in Kill Team. But yeah, go check that out. But for me, you know, I like just how basic a list is. Just give me win percentages like this. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to do. If you want to see where this comes from, it's in the top comment pinned below. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Andy. I've been cool. So have you. Goodbye.